Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the announcement of the evening. And now, introducing to you, hailing from West London, United Kingdom, coming in by way of the dance hall and grime scene, it's Lady, your girl, CHANN.
I got my liquor, I got my clothing, I got my potato chips. I'm just grinding, Mike. I'm just.
No, but Boosie, check this out, right? Who are you?
Hi, girl. It's Lady CHANN, rep nonetheless. Welcome to BOXOLOGY with CHANN. Doing it a little bit rough and rugged, but hey, let's just get it done. Oh, where shall we start? I'm definitely just going in with, Roy Jones Jr. and I'm Mike Tyson. I don't know if it's Iron Mike though. I think we're just getting Mike. To be fair, I think we're just getting Mike. Yeah, we're just getting Mike and Mike and Junior. Let me just break it down. Like I watched the weigh-in last night. It was so disheartening, so kind of disrespectful in certain ways that they didn't put on such a fucking. They should have. Like, our weigh-ins are sick. Like, when I watch our weigh-ins, like, over here, it's more exciting. I don't know. It just feels super. This one was just like, for super legends, like, you guys could have pulled it. The production team could have pulled out a little bit more stops, and the ambience just wasn't there at all. I like the cube, but it took me a minute to realize that they had a bit of perspex in front of them at the face-off. I thought that was the coolest part of the whole fucking thing, to be fair. What a shame. Right. So, made some notes. Oh, Lord. I've made some notes. All right. I'm not even going to deal with the undercards because I really don't care about it like that. Do you know what I mean? YouTubers, boxing, and all this idiocy business. I'm not in it. Sorry. Right. I was initially quite excited for this fight, and the excitement in one foul fucking swoop. Done. The build-up that I was seeing with clearly these video clips of like Mike on the pads had to be slightly sped up, had to be slightly tweaked. All this stem cell stuff that, that he'd embarked on. So Mike came in weighing at 220 pounds, which is 15 stone 7. He's been out the ring for 15 years. Love Mike Tyson, but hasn't led a very healthy life towards the end of his career in the ring and definitely out the ring. Amazing what he's achieved. Don't ever get it twisted. Hot boxing with Mike Tyson, sick, nang. Never forgetting the little Boozy thing. He fucked with Boozy. I may insert clip if I can be bothered because I was dying. Mike, that's that. Stick to that podcast. It's for you. I love it. So Mike comes out, after Roy. We'll get to Roy. It just wasn't the thing. Them man there look mad old. In decent shape for man their age. Yes. But they've got no fucking business fighting, man. This is wild. Mike, I don't know. On the pad works that I'd seen the snippets of footage, he looked mad tighter in the body, more put together, definitely. I couldn't see that at this weigh-in and at this face-off. Yeah, there will be fighting in 10-ounce gloves, and the reason why there's knockouts allowed because it's basically a WBC belt title to win. So in order for that to happen, you have to knockouts have to be administered or allowed. But let me just tell you lot, man, these men have, like I said, no business being in the ring. They shouldn't be knocking each other out. I'm not comfortable with this. Obviously, I've already bought it and paid for it, and I'm going to watch it because it's my duty. It's historical. But I'm not chuffed about this, guys. I'm worried. Like, Will might be able to get through 8-2s. Is there really realistically going to be any knockouts? If Mike lands, yes. They say power's the last thing to go, but how do we not know the power's not gone? Like, when is the last thing to go? Like, what? Like, you could be 90 years old and still have the same power. Like, when does the power go? Everyone uses that, oh, power's the last thing to go. Maybe it's gone. Maybe it's went. Maybe it's caught a couple of Ubers and ducked out. Maybe the power has gone. Like, because stamina endurance, that's gone. I'm almost like fucking gobsmacked, to say the least, to be fair. Like, will he have the stamina to do this? Mike, I don't want to hear you calling out, whether you win or lose or whatever. A boxer always thinks that he's as good as he was, even if it's 20 years later. They never seem to realize that a lot of the time that you're not it, son. You're not it. And I think Mike's in that club, and you've got no business calling out Joshua, Fury, Wilder. None of our generation cats. None of them dons. Allow it, Mike. You're old. You're not going to fare well with none of them dons, and none of them dons want to be responsible for knocking you out, basically, which, by looking at what I saw yesterday, is massively achievable, and you don't want to go out like that. Go out on a high and chill the fuck out. Yeah? Chill the fuck out. Because this is wild to me. I had to do this, like, this is wild. So, yeah, there's a Black Lives Matter belt as well. I don't know how I feel about that. Is it like, oh, thanks, or is it like a bit condescending? I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, Mike's allowed to have weed and marijuana in his system because, as we know, Mike's an avid weed smoker. So this isn't really going by the rules anyway. So if you're just going to just keep bunning it down and then going in the ring, it's just your lungs are not just going to be at working at optimum function. Let's have it right. So, okay. So that's the breakdown where I have there. Jones Jr., he come in at 210 pounds, which is on the dot, which is 15 stone on the dot. He's only been out the ring for 2 years. But judging by how he looked, his posture looked, as I said, very orthopedic. It just looked, two old men. Even his boxing shot, them, it was just like, yeah, your old dad's coming together with his mate, facing off in their old underwear. Like, you could have jazzed it up. I'm annoyed now that I'm getting the flashbacks. It's shocking. It's definitely shocking. Anyway, he looked orthopedic. He didn't look in the greatest of shape. I love it. Let's have it right. He didn't. Looked a bit flabby, but he has got speed. What I saw of him on the pads doesn't look like it was sped up. Remember, he trains Chris Eubank Jr. Yeah, he's only been out the ring 2 years. He's more likely to be able to, maybe, if he can avoid a punch from Mike, because if he gets punched from Mike, he's down. He's down. But if he can dance around Mike and tap and run rings around Mike, I could see that happening, and Mike trying to chase him, and Mike just either losing his temper and being able to land, or just getting gassed out and literally running out of energy. Because I do think that Roy Jones Jr. will be able to dance a bit. He's got the fitness and stamina level. I'm thinking better than Mike at this point, you know. So, but like I said, if Mike does land, it is going to be detrimental to Roy's potential health. And if Roy lands on Mike, the same thing. Yeah, Roy's a puncher. I mean, he's come from middleweight to heavyweight. That's the biggest accolade. Like who's done that? Like that's nearly all time pound for pound, for sure. For sure. I'm stoked and gobsmacked, guys. But yeah, he's athletic, he has speed, he has all of that. And after this, guys, go back to your respective jobs and just leave it alone. Carry on working out, carry on doing boxing training, but as in the world of pro, just leave it alone. Roy, you go back to being a trainer. Mike, you go back to doing hot boxing. And there I shall leave it. There I shall leave it. Right. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for listening. Thanks. Comment, like, subscribe. Yeah. Hey girl, this lady Shan. Rep nonetheless straight from the Sun Cycle farm. Gone!